welcome to Live at 5. Happy Friday.
We did not plan our outfits.
It
was just a happy accident.
We do look complimentary here.
Everybody else came in today in Broadway.com t-shirts.
And we're in purple.
Because we did, we announced
Can I do the date
wait,
first?
we have a special guest.
Let me do the date and the special guest.
I'm
and
sorry,
then
I'm
you can
sorry.
start talking. Can
I'll
you
stop
just
talking.
do my routine, please? Hello, welcome to Live at 5. It is Friday, April the 29th, and we have a very special guest who I'm so excited to talk to today, Sally Ann Triplett, who is one of the most extraordinary leading lights of the West End. She's currently
I know, and now we get her on Broadway.
Neverland. So it's very exciting that she's
Neverland.
here. You're going to have two British people being English to each other coming up. Now you can talk about everybody's outfits in the office today.
So everybody wore Broadway.com t-shirts because we did this little thing in Times Square at noon-ish. Where we announced,
I didn't, because I was in the office doing
I know, and you were like, it's noon, why aren't you live yet? And we were there. We were up there a few minutes later. Hi everybody, how you doing?
Hello, come in.
So we announced the Broadway.com Audience Choice Award nominees.
We did.
And so there were Hamilton, a little show called Hamilton.
27 nominations, beating Spring Awakening's previous record of 21.
It's kind of comical, because actors are eligible in multiple categories. So,
but also the song category was ridiculous.
Yeah.
There were 5 spots, all taken up with 5 songs from Hamilton.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So anyway, now you need to vote for the.
Yes.
You have until Wednesday to vote for the actual winners, and then they get trophies and everything. It's a big deal.
So get on the case.
And Finding Neverland won favorite musical last year.
It did, absolutely.
Finding Neverland swept
Vanessa
last
Hudgens
year.
won as well. She came to the party, very glamorous. Alex Brightman did very well this year. He got the most.
Oh my God! Yes,
anyone.
so Alex got 4.
Yeah.
He's in 4 different categories.
Which is more than any other actor.
Yeah, which is great. And a lot of Hamilton actors got multiple categories. And anyway, it's fun.
Speaking of Alex Brightman, you should have a look at his side-by-side with Susan, because apparently it's hysterical. I've not seen
you know what
it
I found out? I found out that his mom was a groupie. There's a whole joke in there that his mom was like a rock groupie, and she's flipping out about School of Rock. She loves it. And then he makes a whole joke that maybe the guy that she was a groupie of, you'll find out in the video, might be his real dad. It's an awkward joke. Anyway.
Okay. Awkward.
I don't think it's his dad.
Moving on to some more awards. Tony eligibility rulings came out today. Now, of course, the big one, the one that everybody was talking about, was Shuffle Along, which opened on Broadway last night.
Yeah.
Was Shuffle Along going to be a revival or a musical? Well, the committee ruled today, and
it's a musical.
It's a musical.
Which I think a lot of people who've seen the show, it seemed kind of obvious that it was very original.
I go tomorrow. I wasn't allowed in before opening. I'm going to.
Now, this is not great news for a lot of other musicals, because it's a tight, Hamilton is nominated. I mean, I think we would put everything in your life down on that, right? Hamilton is nominated, and then there's 3 slots.
Yeah.
So now it's the big question. Shuffle Along is now in the mix, and it's high pedigree, Shuffle Along. So I think Shuffle Along is kind of a given, and now we have to figure out.
So what happens to Waitress? What happens to Tuckstar? What happens to
School of Rock?
Tuckstar? This is
Disaster.
what happens on a Friday.
On Your Feet. There's all kinds of shows.
There's all kinds of stuff
so
going on.
there aren't enough slots. There never are enough slots.
Exactly. Moving on, because we've had a lot of news today, and I know that everybody wants us to talk to Sally.
Can we talk about the hookers? Because I love hooker musicals.
Yes, Pretty Woman.
I love hooker musicals, don't you?
So Pretty
Sweet
Woman.
Charity, The Life.
Yeah.
There's a new hooker musical coming.
Pretty Woman is aiming to bow next year. Gary Marshall, who directed the film, gave an interview. He's done the libretto. Director Jerry Mitchell, two-time Tony winner.
That was big news.
And scored by Brian Adams and Jim Valance.
Adams.
That's leading odds and ends
and hookers.
Today.
People love hooker musicals.
Well, that's leading the second odds and ends today. I also did a London odds and ends this morning, leading with the news that apparently Lin-Manuel Miranda will eventually end up in Hamilton in London. He won't open it.
Right.
It's going to open next year in London in October at the Victoria Palace Theatre, which we already knew about. But apparently he might star in it in
a few years.
2018 to 2019.
He's a very busy man. I would love to see his calendar and his phone to see how booked up he is with Mary Poppins and music. I mean.
Also, something we're very, very excited about is, of course, Groundhog Day, which Andy Carl, big friend of the site, is.
He's now in London. He started rehearsals this week.
And it's been announced that Carlis Peer is going to be playing the Andy McDowell role.
She's a West End actress.
RADA trained. She's going to be doing it. And of course, that show already has Broadway dates. It's going to begin premieres on January the 23rd.
It's definitely coming to Broadway.
So yeah, that's all sorted. Another thing in London Odds and Ends Day, Ruth Wilson will headline Hedda Gabler, directed by Eva Van Hove, Man of the Moment, Crucible, Lazarus, View from the Bridge. All this year on the New York stage. Amazing.
Big deal.
The Woodsman will close on May the 29th. There's also, just a quick through, Danielle Brooks' Ask a Star. So I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah,
it.
totally fun. Totally fun.
Hot Shots include Aaron Tveit, so if you like Aaron Tveit, go to Hot Shots right now, but not right after you've watched this. Culturalist, this is always fun.
Yeah.
Which closed show deserves Tony love?
Yeah, we thought let's
Have your
poll.
say.
You know, when shows close, they have slightly less of a chance. You know, they're not in everyone's consciousness. So, which ones deserve some love on Tony Morning? Spring Awakening is doing very well in that poll, as it did well in our awards as well. So everyone get on there and vote for our awards.
Perfect. All right.
You have a lovely weekend. Let me
introduce Sally Ann Triplett.
Come on
West
in,
End
Sal.
goddess.
Hey, am I on?
You're on.
Live at 5.
Hello.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, darling, it's my pleasure. Don't you miss Waitrose?
I miss M&S.
Chocolate.
Oh dear. Right, let's move on.
Oh, look at me in
Before
my
we do this,
tartan.
It's very smart. So you're in Finding Neverland.
I am.
Opposite the glorious Laura Michelle Kelly
I
and
am.
Alfie Boe.
Yes.
Now let's just have a Laura Michelle Kelly moment, because she is amazing,
Yes.
isn't she?
She's a lovely, lovely, lovely girl. Beautiful girl.
She helped you through the process, because the putting process is pretty frightening. I mean,
Well, it is when you're the only one joining,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Go on then, let's have a look at you then." And you know, she's literally next door to me. We've got dressing room, so it's Alfie, Laura, and me. All the Brits are on one
not
floor.
a
Yes.
bad little, you know.
Yeah, Alfie brought me a crunchy bar in last night,
Crunchy
which
bars,
I
I miss
hoovered.
crunchies.
I just
They
hoovered
are
it down.
amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Probably they
Yeah.
don't know what we're talking about. But Laura Michelle Kelly is, as you just said, she's a wonderful, wonderful girl, and she was very supportive. I went to see the show the night before I auditioned, and she said, "Come with me." She said, "This is your dressing room." I said, "But I've not actually auditioned
the
for it
show
yet, Laura."
yet.
So, whoa, baby. But yeah, she's lovely, and so is Alfie.
And are you enjoying it?
I
It's
am.
a magical show, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's so magical. And at the end of the night, when we have a standing ovation every night, people are standing up. There are grown men crying, like really crying. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's sad, but it's beautiful. Ticks all the right boxes. It's the story of Peter Pan, which we all know. But it can affect and it touches everyone on some level.
Would you like to go with it to London? Because it is heading to London. Is that something that's
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
agenda, or it's happening on Broadway right now?
Yes, please, Harvey. I'd like to go to London.
Harvey
No,
watches this every day at 5 o'clock. It's fine.
Well, I live here
Yeah.
with, and my daughter goes to school in Union Square.
Okay.
So I have a dog. We walk him in the park, in Central Park every morning. So you're asking me to go home when I live here now.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that question.
I didn't know. So did you move over here when your husband was doing Chicago, or was that?
No, I actually was doing The Last Ship. That's how
you ended up here?
Yeah, The Last Ship was before he did Chicago.
Yeah.
And we actually applied for our green cards as a family, because I've got 2 children. I've got Gracie and Max, and we applied for our green cards a year before we got them.
Yeah.
We came over for a week, and I had an audition for this show that you had to talk like this, like you were from
Newcastle.
Everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you from Ireland?" "No, I'm from Newcastle." "But that's like Ireland, right?" "No, it's Newcastle." There's sea
So the
between.
Sting musical.
But yeah, so we all came over and I got this audition, and then 10 months later we moved here and we're still here.
Fabulous. So
Yes.
you're enjoying New York then?
Yes, I'm loving New York. I do miss my mummy,
Yeah,
and I
me
miss
too.
my son, and I miss Waitrose, but apart from that, it's all good.
Now this is a favourite question we get from our Live at Fivers.
Yes.
On stage mishaps. Have you had any in Finding Neverland yet? And if so, what have they been? Have they been fun?
God, I wish you'd asked me this before. Because see, I'm not. Let me just try and think. Alfie Boe is really good fun. In fact, I think if we did more scenes together, we would probably get into trouble.
Okay.
So
Watch the scenes together then when you go to Finding Neverland.
There
might be something going on.
There might be something going on, but there's this little bit where he looks at me and I look at him very dramatically, and then I look away, and anyway, he didn't look at me. It's like, no, you're supposed to look at me dramatically, and then I look away. And then I got off stage and
It's Diane Paulus here. Don't mess
Diane
Paulus' direction, quite frankly.
stuff.
I'd be too scared to miss.
We got off stage, and Alfie was standing and the stage management was there, and I said, "Excuse me, I'd like to complain about Alfie." And Alfie is on stage, as you know, the whole time. Anyway, he went back on stage and then I was in the wings, and I was like that. You, I'm looking at you. You look at me like this. But no, not many mishaps so far. No. I'm afraid to tell you.
Do you have any dressing room rituals to get you into the zone? Or are you just all messing around on your British
Darling, I've been doing this for 36 years.
Some people do. I mean, I was talking to Ben Wishall the other day, and he has, and he's got a crystal and things, and I think Laura sounds to me like someone that's pretty regimented.
Yes, she has whales singing to her.
Exactly. So you've got no whales. You've got no whales. You just turn up.
No, I have a little bit of MasterChef on the iPad. Do you know what I do have? I have my dad's comb that he used. He's passed away now, but I have my dad's comb, and I have a little bag of things. I have a big old penny when I was in rags. Yeah. Somebody gave me a big old penny. Somebody gave me a little tiny note when I was in Jolson in Toronto and London. I've still got that, and that's the penny is wrapped in that. I have a little crystal from someone else.
There you go.
I have a when I was in the last ship, somebody gave everyone a bent nail, because that's a good luck thing. So I do have all these little things that I collect. Finding Neverland, I don't have that many kind of things to get me into the zone, but I do have my little rituals. Yeah, I do. I don't just stroll on because I don't trust it. I'm like, right, make sure you know what you're saying. So.
Now you've obviously had an amazing career in the West End. So talk about to me sort of like perhaps your highlight, the one that will stick with you forever. I mean, everyone talks about Anything Goes.
Well, it has to be Anything Goes. Yeah. But just because Anything Goes was a coming together of everyone at the top of their game, which sometimes doesn't necessarily work, but then when it does and the stars collide, it just magic happens. We had Stephen Mear. It was Stephen Mear's the choreographer. It was his probably the thing that really sort of took him to new heights. We had incredible set. It was at the National, so we had everything at our disposal. We had Trevor Nunn.
So Trevor,
darling Trev,
who as well as doing a lot of Shakespeare, has done small musicals like you might have heard of Cats and Les Miserables.
You might have heard
of those.
Yes, he's just done Pericles in Brooklyn.
Yes,
he just directed that in Brooklyn. He doesn't stop. He's an amazing man. But
he's about to be back doing the Pussycats on Broadway.
I know. I'm so excited. Yeah, so excited about that. But everything came together, and it was just pretty much like being in an MGM musical every night. There was nothing I could really, and had the lovely John Barrowman who would get his bum out at every opportunity.
Google John Barrowman after this, and you'll understand why. It's just fabulous.
You will. But that I've been really, 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 really lucky. I've done some amazing shows in the West End and out of the West End, and I've been in a band, and I've
you were on Eurovision, which again they won't understand, but that's amazing.
People won't understand twice.
Eurovision twice. Now a lot of kids are watching this, and I think it is important because there are the ups that you will have, and you're on and up at the moment, but you also have downs and some tough times. I want to talk to you about your Chicago anecdote, because I love this, that you had problems getting into Chicago, and then you were offered it 6 years later. I mean, that's an amazing story.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't call it amazing.
I think it's just inspirational. Inspirational for those out there to know that you just have to keep on going.
You have to keep on going. The thing about this business is that you have to love it. Yeah. You have to love it. You have to obviously have talent. You have to love it, and you have to have dignity and be kind, and I think just have lovely manners, because I think that takes you so very far. Chicago, I auditioned for it in the beginning when Ruthie Henshaw got it in the West End, and I didn't get it, but I got recalled a couple of times, and then I got offered to take over from Ruthie. So it was all very exciting. Had my pictures taken.
Oh God, so you got that far?
Oh yeah. I had all
having black
all of that. At the Drury Lane Theatre, had all these fantastic pictures taken, and I was in Cats at the time playing Grizz, and I would see people in the street and they would congratulate me, because at the time Chicago was the hot ticket, And it was way before celebrities would be in it. It was still at the point where, you know, they didn't rely on a name being in it. And so I was so excited about this. And at the 11th hour, they gave it to somebody else who had won an award.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically was that they kind of got cold feet. And, you know, I auditioned for it. My favourite story about Chicago is that about my third time I auditioned for it.
You really wanted to be Roxy.
I loved being Roxy.
Yeah.
I finally did it.
Yeah.
I finally got rung up and I didn't have to audition. It was after Anything Goes. But after, I think it was my third or fourth audition, I thought, right, I've done everything that they've asked me to do. I've read for Velma and I've read for Roxy and I've done all the dances, all the songs. What can I do that they're not going to expect? So I wore a platinum blonde wig. And I went in and I shook Walter Bobby's hand and I said, hi. And he was like, oh my God. I said, apparently blondes have more fun. Let's hope they have more luck too. And I did the audition.
Yeah.
And again, I kind of got given it. And then I didn't end up doing it. It was just so frustrating for me.
So, but some things are meant to be every. Now, I just want to have a quick word about your son, because he's on The Voice. I mean, it's been on The Voice. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, more amazing from going on from The Voice. He got to the semi-finals of The Voice. He is now kind of leaving The Voice behind, and he was actually supporting Bob Geldof tonight. I don't know if people know who Bob Geldof was.
Live Aid, everyone.
Live Aid. And he's doing brilliant. He's doing Secret Garden Festival this summer, and
very cool. Then
he's doing
very
really
cool.
really well. And Max Milner, check him out.
So Google everybody.
Yeah, very proud mum.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
Sally.
you.
Sally
it's
Ann
like
Triplett,
being at
ladies and
home
gentlemen.
for a minute.
Go and see Finding Neverland. It has the most extraordinary cast in it right now, and you will cry your eyes out in the best possible way. I think
it's a wonderful, wonderful show. Please come down and see us.
All right, thank you so much. We'll see you next week live at Fivers. Happy weekend.
Bye bye.